Alright, let's go do a little bit of dune cruising. Gonna do all this one-handed. A little sideways. An unloaded car is a fun car. So yeah, here we are with the new light bar that probably everybody else already knows about. That's just more trees. Just playing in the dark. Gotta go find a spot to drink my tea, and I might drive out and watch the northern lights for a bit if they're doing anything. So I'm liking it. Definitely throw some light. Probably won't show up much on this video, but what's up here? Yeah, I should get a camera so I can mount to the car. Looks like some of the trucks got the sand chewed up pretty good. Nice little pinch point up here a little bit. That little bump you see in the middle of the hood, that's my push bar. That my wife likes to point out used to be a bed frame, but whatevs. As one of the guys at works like to say, smoke them if you got them. Smoked a whole pack of that stuff. Bam! Front of the car. Here's sort of the main road that comes in. Lovely night for a drive, governor. So, tootling around. Adventure by Subaru. Oh, somebody was coming onto it here with some bald tires. Actually, probably mud tires. Usually a less aggressive tread tends to work better in sand, things like that. You get a real heavy lug tire, it tends to dig itself in. I had bald tires on before this, and it actually worked better. And then when I dropped them down in pressure, they worked even better again. Whatever. I'd rather have the lugs come wintertime and for mud and stuff like that. And being snow tires, they're not an off-road tire, but they are stickier. Well, let's do a couple things here first. Somebody tried to get up this in a truck, and it looks like they got stuck and dug a bunch of holes on us. Now that we know where the line isn't, there. I don't know if you'll see it in the video or not, but right there, somebody's done the old diagonally opposed peel, which sucks. And now it's really chewed up, which is too bad, because I used to love going up this. Well, let's keep trying. Nothing's undoable, just harder to do. Ride the brake a bit, keep a little bit of load on the tires. See if we can do this without tearing the bottom of the car off. Oh yeah. Take that, big nasty hole. Poor man's locker. So yeah, for those of you that don't know how that works, you've got a differential gear in each drive axle that your car has. So when you go around turns, the outside wheel can go faster than the inside wheel, which is great for, I don't want to say girly driving, but boring driving, because some girls really can rock it. But you get in the woods, it sucks. Oh look, they got this all tore up too. What the poop? But if you load up just a little bit of brake on it, what'll happen is it'll cause that wheel to not want to spin as easily, which might be long enough just to get a little bit more torque over to the wheel that does have a bit of grip, or wheels. In our case, we have more than one drive axle. Quite grateful for that. So yeah, long story short, you can use a little bit of poor man's brake vectoring to get through some stuff. The other nice thing is when you keep your drivetrain, your converter loaded up just a little bit on the brake, as soon as you start to spin, you can just rein it in just a little bit so you're not digging holes. And the power's already on tap too, so instead of having to get on the throttle and get the motor to react, and in my case with throttle by wire, that sucks, you're already on the power. So as soon as you let off the brake, boom, away she goes. Well, these are kind of neat little rollers, eh? I like these. Down the hill, up the hill, down the hill. Man, they have torn this all up. That's too bad. So I used to be able to drive straight across here and go around this big rock you're going to see in a minute, but they've been doing some excavating, which technically means this probably isn't all that stable anymore. I'll have to show you a shot of it in the daytime, but yeah. So directly in front of the car here is probably about, I don't know, 30-foot drop into just a big hole. Can't even see what's here anymore. I see tire tracks, so can't be too bad. People have done it. And if we were to go straight, it takes it out of the sand pit next to the highway and then back into another entrance. But we ain't got time for that mess. So we're just gonna back up. Go back from whence we came. Oh, I see an airplane taking off. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so we're right next to the main airport in Yellowknife. When I say main airport, I was going to say the only airport, but we also have the float plane bases down in Old Town, which is cool. That looks right across the whole sand pit there. Man, somebody gave her stink here. Oh well, I'm going to enjoy this while it lasts because A, they're digging a lot of it up, and B, winter's coming, isn't it? Up this little grunter. Climbing this whole little thing here. And then back down. And then up. And then down. Rather than go right across the whole way again, which we've already done in one direction. Let's play on some of these little hills a bit. So this one's usually a pretty good one. I can see that somebody with some big old nasty tires has been at it. We'll see what it looks like from the bottom. Turn around here in front of the lake. The sand lake. The big old hole. Let's see. Doesn't look too bad. Get lined up a bit just so we're not tearing her all to pieces. Somebody's come across it on the throttle, so there's going to be some stutter bumps on the way up. Oh well. Let's go, old girl. Just nice and easy. Off the throttle when you crest. Ta-da. Now, where's this go? I may or may not have been down this before. Oh well. Looks like a big gully. How steep is that? Oh, that's fine. She might drag her bum a little bit. Now there's another thing about riding the brakes. When it's done properly, instead of just using the throttle and then bouncing all over the place and trying to go between throttle and brake, you can regulate your power quite a bit nicer so that your suspension isn't bouncing up and down, because when it bounces down, whatever ground clearance you've got, or in my case don't have to start with, you get even less. So if you're going up and down off stuff that, picture it, the weight of your car coming up and down on the springs, if something stops your car before the suspension stops it, bang, that nice noise. Oh, here's a little river crossing. But if you're careful on the brake and the gas at the same time, you can avoid that. So you kind of pussyfoot around and just kind of pick a really nice, decent line. I'm just going around in first gear for most of this stuff too. I could probably put it in drive in the middle, but if I go any faster, she's just going to beat all what's left of her bushings out anyways. Which you can probably hear. That's the sway bar link ends mostly. I don't really see what they're any good for anyways. I say that, but I haven't put a car on its lid yet, so I should be grateful. At least on the road. And it looks like this one might have overfilled because there's a little river coming out of it. Oh yeah, a little bit of water here. Can't see in the dark. That makes sense. Lots of horse tracks out here tonight. Who rides their horses? Oh yes, there is a horse place close to here. Never mind, answered my own question. Then we got the back roads. I still never found a place to drink my tea yet, did I? Earl Grey with milk. One of my faves. Now the trail straight ahead. I've gone up it pretty far before I cut my bumper. Ended up tearing half my bumper off a couple of times. I have to get out and kick it back on, so I said enough of that. But you get to a point in the middle, you can come at it from either side, and in between you definitely need some very, very careful driving, or a bigger vehicle, or just a little bit of road construction, which isn't uncommon, but yeah, if you make it easier for you, you take the challenge away for everybody else. So better just to have a chicken track around it, or cut your losses and realize the limitations of your vehicle and your skill at the time. So then we go back kind of in the woods here. This is different with one hand because it's super tight. And then we just palm it around to the left. Trees are all scratched up. Must be from drunk people or something. I don't know. Alright, and then this used to just go straight. That gets boring, just going straight. When you can, oh, go up the side of the hill, okay. A couple little holes. It's definitely not hard to tell my struts are getting bad because it is 3 degrees out and they're topping out like crazy now. They didn't do that last winter. So, yeah, anyways, back down to La Trail, huh? Eh? Ça c'est bon! And there's a fire pit here somewhere in the middle. Looks like somebody drove over. Well, better them than me. And you know what? Let's go up here instead of the road. So we are gonna pick our way through some rocks. Give her a little spin here. She don't mind going sideways if it's loose. Which is good because I don't mind going sideways if it's loose. Up the hill, over the rocks. Down the rock face, through the trees. Sometimes if I ride the brake hard enough on this, like that, you hear that? I can get the car to slide sideways. It's so much fun. That was just the bottom of the ground hitting the car. That's some deep old sand, that is. Yeah. Head back over here. Ooh, people have been driving on that big dune in the middle. That intrigues me. Now we'll go up the rock once we get through all this old icing sugar sort of sand. Oh, something just broke off the bottom. And up. Tight left. You can hear and feel the transmission engaging and disengaging the clutch pack when you get the wheels cut tight on something like that with all kinds of grip. Which brings up another good point. And by the way, I am the furthest thing from an expert in any of this, so take it all with a grain of salt, or maybe even one of them little restaurant packs of salt, I guess. But anyways, yeah, know your vehicle. Get right intimate with it, but not in like a weird sort of way. But in like a, my car sounds different than it normally does. When I make it do this, it does that. It doesn't feel right, or this feels good. I don't know. It's one of those things that's more objective than quantifiable, maybe. But yeah, that'll go a long ways in knowing what it can do, what it can't do, what it's not up to doing anymore because it needs a little bit of repair work. Preventing things before they turn into bigger things, especially if you're using your vehicle to get out there in the back 40. Oh, there's a oil pan rock right there. We'll go around. These look like big truck tracks and very big rocks. So, as I was saying, I know my vehicle. I know it does not like that. And that being said, reversing at night. It's bad enough backing up in the woods. Something like this that you've gone through who knows how much rock, and it's hard to memorize it all. And it's even harder to see it at night going backwards. Drop your mirrors down a bit. so that they're pointed down, and you'll see what's coming up before it hits your back wheels, as opposed to looking at all this real estate behind you that you're never going to get to in a million years driving around slow backwards at night. Little pivot. Not quite a pirouette. Yeah, that's just something I've learned over the years that helps. And those rocks would have almost been doable in the daytime. That's embarrassing. Oh well. Myself and the car live to see another day. And I'm sure most of you have tuned out by now, so now we get to the good stuff. Do some rock crawling. I think if we go around this little pond, there's a lot of ponds back here. It's pretty cool. Here's when we get to drive through. I can't guarantee we'll get up this one. I see the Jeep guys doing this. So we've got sand up to this line, all kinds of open rock, and past this crest there's definitely more of it, but you can't see it right now on the camera. Let's see. One-hander. Oh, and I see somebody else playing back here. Yeah, I think there's a little hole in front of me here. It's full of water. There's another thing. If you don't know the trail, scout it, because I know that's doable because I've done it. If this is my first time here, when something's full of water like that, that could be hiding some nasty stuff. Water and mud. It's usually where bad stuff grows. A little bit more rock. There's a trail up here. I'm going to try it. I've almost got stuck on it once going this way, but I'll do it for you. And normally I like doing this with a lot lower tire pressure because there's zero momentum here, and it's all, oh, there's the rocker panel, all loose sand. So I'm going to let her bum come down a bit, and I'm going to give her, without giving too much at once, digging holes. Sometimes it helps to saw the wheel back and forth, so you probably won't see it, but, well, yeah, here's my hand. So going uphill, just enough to keep pulling the tires into some fresh stuff and chucking it underneath the car, instead of just sitting there digging holes. Digging holes is for dead people. Don't want to be doing that. You gotta keep that old buggy moving. Here's another thing. For those of you that still haven't hit the I can't stand this video anymore button and turned it off. Not having the greatest off-road vehicle in the world is probably the best teacher in the world. And by that, if you just buy or build some big old nasty truck with great big tires and lockers and blah 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 blah, you're gonna go through a bunch of stuff and probably break something or get stuck, or both. One does sometimes lead to the other. Something like this, well, this is probably the exact opposite end of the spectrum. This is not actually even an off-road vehicle, but it's good at teaching lessons. Yeah, get something that isn't overly capable, so you have to learn how to drive. Once you know how to drive, you can go around all over the place. And then when you do get something better, you're going to blow your mind, and everybody else is with, oh man, didn't know I could do this. Not saying that I can do that, but I feel fairly confident taking a vehicle through a lot of stuff that some people wouldn't, but they have no exposure to it, so that's understandable. But it's like, I guess it's like learning on an old BB gun. And when you're dead on with that, you can pick up a real firearm and put her right where it needs to go. Because you've learned all the techniques required, all the skills, developed a muscle memory, picked up good habits hopefully, and now you're proficient, so that when you're given a proper piece of equipment to use, I don't want to say you're unstoppable, but you're on a good path to doing crazy stuff with it. So yeah, we'll just play up here for a little bit. I might go have my tea here a second. Let's just drive up this and see what happens. Someone's had a big truck up this. This is just all loose sand. And I think somebody might be stuck. No, he's going down. So the dunes in the middle here, people have been driving over them like crazy. apparently, from what one of the guys at work has been telling me, they've been getting stuck quite a bit too, so. I have a yank strap in my car, and a shovel, and an axe, and a whole bunch of other things. Let's just go see. River crossing. I don't know what kind of truck that was. I'll tell you one thing, it ain't real big. Now it's big in bulk, but it's not big in tire. That's where it counts. Up the hill. It's the little engine that could. Anyways, I will chat with you guys another day. Bye-bye.